in one side and water on the other side.
Yeah. Or a simpler method for this could be, see, you should have this very firm understanding of how the electron transfer is taking place. So if I am saying H2 to H2O, and this is at anode, so the electron shall be released. Clear? And now the rest of the balancing, how can you do it? By addition of OH minus on both sides and then addition of H plus, right? So if I say plus OH minus, if I say plus OH minus plus H plus,
OH minus. 2OH minus on the left. Yeah. Now we can make that H2. Not 2 on the other side, only 1.
in this case it will be,
2H2.
is it balanced? Just check it once. This is the equation which you are going to get. Check it once.
Set 2OH minus.
We cannot 2H2 nature. So it shouldn't be 2H2. It should just be H2. So it should just be
It should be
H2 and
just
there should be plus 2 electrons. Plus 2 electrons on the other
Why
side.
it is at anode?
So plus 2 electrons on the right, not 4.
Okay, you are saying
So it
here.
should be plus 2.
In this case also it should be 4OH minus. So this is balanced. So what will be the N in this fuel cell reaction?
4.
If I say N for the fuel cell, it will be
4.
fine. Okay, so with this we come to the end of first part of electrolysis. Shall I rub this off? See, this part of the electrochemistry is relatively much more easier than what we have done in the first part of electrochemistry. So what we'll start with is, see, up till now we have not discussed that what will be the amount of substance which will be deposited, or how much electricity will be required if you want to conduct this thing, or what will be the duration for which this reaction should be continued so that we get this amount of electricity and this amount of current, or if I am given a given source of electrode, after what time will I have to replace it. Some things like this were related to quantity. Up till now we have only read the qualitative aspects, whether this cell is spontaneous or not. We have not talked about the aspects of quantity, how much electricity will be generated, what will be the weight which will be deposited, how much metal I will be able to extract, what will be the weight I will be able to purify. So these type of questions will be addressed using this part. So these two laws, Faraday gave two laws, Faraday's first law and Faraday's second law, and both of these laws are connected to the amount of substance which should be deposited at the electrode, through which a current is passed, or through which the charge is passed. Okay. So Faraday's first law, what was Faraday's first law? That, so if W is the weight of the electrode which is deposited on passing a current or a charge, say Q, then what Faraday said that this weight is going to be proportional to the amount of charge passed. So for example, if I pass 100 coulombs, the weight will be less. If I pass 200 coulombs, the weight which will be deposited will be more, and so on. Or I can say W is proportional to I into T. That is the same thing, because Q is what? I into T. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
So this proportionality constant came out to be something known as Z, or electrochemical equivalent. So if I ask you what is Z, can someone define just by looking at the equation what will be Z?
Heat deposit per
When 1 coulomb of charge is
1
passed.
coulomb of charge is passed.
Yeah. So I can say this is nothing but weight deposited,
Per coulomb. 1
Coulomb
coulomb
of
of
charge transfer.
right? But for all your questions in which you need to solve for Z, I'll just give you a Z is equal to nothing but the atomic weight divided by N divided by F. What is F? 96500. And what is N? Again, this N is the same as we have done before. You just write the equation, see the change of electrons or see the, if in this case it is an electrode, so just see the number of electrons that are getting transferred. For example, if I write Ag plus electron gives Ag, so N equal to 1. If I write Cu2 plus 2 electrons gives Cu, in this case N equal to 2, and so on and so forth. So in this case, if I say 55 gram of copper was deposited on passing current of 2 ampere for a period of 3600 seconds. Calculate Z. In that case you can do. Or calculate the weight deposited. So you know Z. You know N equal to 2, you know F equal to 96500. You know atomic weight of copper is 63.5. So you know Z. I have given you current which is equal to 2 and I have given you time equal to 3600. So the charge will be 2 into 3600 which will be equal to 7200. So I know both the terms, I know all these terms, so I can calculate the weight of copper deposited. Isn't it simple enough? Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
So these questions, if they come in JEE, they will be directly based on formulas. So I think that is not a tough formula to remember, is it? And it is very common. It is a common sense also. If you pass more charge, then definitely you will get the weight to be more. Clear? One more thing. Stop writing. Stop writing. If I say, what is this thing as? What will be I? Can I say this as equivalent weight? Atomic weight divided by n factor. So I can also say Z is nothing but equivalent weight by F. How do you define the equivalent weight as? How do you define the n factor? The change in oxidation number. And what is the change in oxidation number? Number of electrons that is transferred. That is same as n. So if I divide the atomic number by n, that is equivalent to saying it is equivalent to equivalent weight. Are we clear? See, I will give you one tip for organic chemistry. And that tip is stay patient and stay calm. Okay. So what have you learned up till now is, see, in the initial, the organic learning curve will be add on. After some time it will be stable. And they will give you references from the past. This reaction we did in alkyl.
Now we're at that stage.
Okay, so you will feel a bit better. And I will give you a name of a book which is very good. And it's worth ₹95 only, so you can easily spare money. The book's name is S.M. Sanyal. Okay, just write it down. This book is like a very thin book, and the best part about this book is they've given you all the reactions which actually exist. Shall we go ahead? This is just an extension of the first law. For example, if I have two electrodes, so I can write W1 equal to Z1 into Q, and I can say W2 equal to Z2 into Q, assuming same charge is passed. This is from the Faraday's first law, right? And I can also write that in this case, if I say the same charge is passed, and in this case I also assume that the N is same. Number of electrons transferred in both the cases they are same. So what I can say, W1 by W2 equal to Z1 by Z2.
Atomic weight of 1.
Or if I even do not take N as same, I can say equal to E1 by E2. Or what I can say, so if the same charge is passed through two different electrolytes, then the weights which will be deposited will be directly proportional to their equivalent weights. Simple enough? I'm writing it down here. If same charge, simple enough? So I think that's end of a heavy session. You have your electrochemistry booklets with you, right?
Yes, sir.
You can do all the part 1 questions. Okay, and there is a fair amount of demarcation which you will get. All the questions related to E cell, KSP, pH, E0 cell, whether it can be used as cathode, whether it is spontaneous or not, calculate delta G, calculate delta G naught. All these questions you can do. Okay? And if you are feeling not confident enough in starting with the questions directly, what you can do is, if you have R.C. Mukherjee or P. Bahadur, start with the solved examples. But do not simply copy the solved examples. Okay? look at the solved examples, look at the questions, and start solving them. This should be the approach. Okay?
Sir,
Ask me
I'm
the
telling you the answer. Sir, there's a question given. Objective.
Okay.
Sir, in that MnO4
MnO4.
is getting reduced to sir, Mn2 plus in an acidic medium.
That's why it's acidic medium.
Sir, then Cr2O7. Sir, E0 for this is given as.
Yeah.
Sir, E0 for
MnO4 minus Mn2 plus. This is reduction. Yeah. What is the E0 given?
So 1.51 volts.
And for this?
1.38 volts.
Okay. And what is asked? And
The E0 is 0.77 volts.
okay.
And then sir, sir, chlorine gas converts into chloride ion. Sir, E0 for this is 1.40 volts.
Okay.
Sir, then it is given for the quantitative estimation of sir, Fe ferrous nitrate.
Fe2?
NO3 twice. Sir, it is given to mark whether MnO4 and Cr2O7 can be used in HCl and H2SO4. Which are the correct options?
Come again. What is the
There are
question?
So there are four options.
One is MnO4 can be used in HCl.
Okay.
MnO4 can be used with H2SO4.
Okay.
Cr2O7 can be used in HCl and H2SO4. Same, like two options.
So now pick the incorrect one.
Pick the incorrect one.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, in this question, you know that MnO4 minus is reducing to Mn2 plus, so you know the SRP, right? If I am using the same equation in HCl, what is going to happen? There is a possibility that H plus is getting reduced, and there is also a possibility of Cl minus of getting oxidized. Okay. So in case I want MnO4 to be used in HCl, I have to check first that whether Cl2 will be evolved or not. How can I check? I can compare the SOP. Yeah, the question which we did in electrolysis. You remember that question? NaCl, water.
Yes, sir.
In that case, the competitive medium was water.
So I checked that, and Cl gas is released at anode, so HCl cannot be used. But when I am using that same logic for Cr2O7, it is also coming that Cr2O7 also cannot be used with HCl. But the answer is given only MnO4 cannot be used with HCl.
See, the reason is for once Cl2 is evolved. Okay, what will happen?
Can you please check it once more? So whether Cl2 is evolved or not. Maybe I may be wrong.
Just check the SOP for this. SOP for this will be?
Minus 1.4.
And in this case, what will be the other side of the reaction? The standard hydrogen electrode, SHE.
No, sir. Sir, ferrous nitrate. Sir, quantitative estimation we are doing that. So that must be this
Ferrous
one.
nitrate. Okay, this is getting
yes.
reduced. Okay. I got it. You are actually using this with this or this with this. Right? So if I am using this, I want itself to get reduced. And this is oxidizing.
Sir,
Okay?
Fe2 plus is given in the question. So quantitative estimation of Fe2 plus. No, sir, that is correct. But in the question it is given, we have to do the quantitative estimation of ferrous nitrate.
Okay. So in this case, I want Fe2 plus to be formed.
Yes, sir. Fe3 plus to be formed because Fe2
And-
plus is already there.
Okay. So basically, I am using this as cathode, right?
Yeah.
I am using this as cathode.
Yeah,
Because
sure.
it is oxidation. So if I am using this as cathode, I have to compare when I am using it with HCl. So I have to, in this case, I want a reduction of these things take place.
Yes, sir.
So I do not have to compare SOP then, I have to compare SRP. So if I am taking HCl as the medium, what will be the reduction reaction? HCl gives hydrogen. Fine? And what will be the oxidation reaction? Cl minus gives Cl2. So if I compare it with the hydrogen electrode, if it is coming out to be 1.51, so it is greater. So this can take place.
Yes.
Okay. Similarly, if I use the same thing with this case, if I am using this as the cathode, there is no problem. But the problem arises if I use this as the anode. Why? Because if I do use this as anode, then the competition comes from chlorine. Okay. So what your understanding of the question, first of all, that is wrong, because what they are using it is for estimation of this. For estimation, it is have to.
So that was the reaction given in the question.
But this is the reaction is actually taking place.
So the E naught value will be negative of this. In this case, negative 0.77.
Okay. Okay.
So I was basically thinking that this reaction.
So then now compare, if you are comparing oxidation of this, in reduction there is no problem. Why? Because in the reduction reaction you have to compare with hydrogen, which is 0. So it is positive, so it will reduce.
Both are positive and so both are okay. But
Okay.
wait.
The reduction part, if you compare it with this thing. So if I compare, I can say E naught for this is plus 1.40. So this E naught is greater than this. So basically it will get oxidized. And if you are doing an estimation, you should get this oxidation, right? Because this is what you are going to estimate. So this reaction is not going to take place because its SOP is less than its SOP. Clear? In the reduction side there is no problem because you are comparing with hydrogen, which is 0. So it is 1.51, which is positive.